Director's report.
Yes. First, let me advise you of things that the City Council has been doing since your last meeting in April. They've had 2 regular meetings on May 1st and May 15th, and then earlier this week, they had 3 nights of budget hearings. At their May 1st meeting, the council passed a resolution confirming their previous comments on the Sustainable Community Strategy and the draft Regional Housing Needs Allocation. They had previously discussed that on April 17th, and their comments were passed on to ABAG and MTC. On May 15th, the council adopted the pedestrian and bicycle plan and approved the corresponding general plan amendment, so that project is finished. In doing so, they moved the bicycle boulevard between San Pablo and Adeline Street from 47th Street back to 45th Street. You may recall that the commission moved it from 45th Street to 47th Street after hearing from the chair of the BPAC, and a majority of the commission agreed that it would be better on 47th Street. At the council meeting, several additional BPAC members spoke in support of 45th Street, along with some other public speakers, and a majority of the council agreed that it was better on 45th Street. So now it's back on 45th Street. That was the big issue. Everything else seemed to be fine. The council held a study session on an analysis report and recommendations for the Child Development Center, as well as the Community Services Department's proposed quality improvement plan, and they endorsed those proposals. The council also reviewed our department's RFP process for consultant services for the building division, which includes plan check, field inspections, and administrative services. And that RFP process concluded that we will continue to contract with WC3, and the council approved that concept. We'll be bringing WC3's contract back to the council in June. This is not directly related to planning, but it's something I thought you would want to know about. The council approved a contract with Alameda County to provide fire services effective July 1st. All the fire stations, equipment, and personnel will remain as is, but they will now be operated by the county with oversight from the city. The council also heard a status report on the leak at the AC Transit hydrogen fueling station that occurred on May 4th. As you may know, that leak resulted in the evacuation of several surrounding properties, including Pixar, the high school, and Emeryville Village, and the closure of San Pablo Avenue between 40th and 53rd Streets for a couple of hours. The AC Transit general manager told the council that they are assessing the situation and deciding whether and when to reopen the facility. I would note that, as was predicted when AC Transit presented this concept to the commission and the council a few years ago, the hydrogen, which is lighter than air, burned off and went straight up into the sky. It was somewhat spectacular, I guess, but it didn't really cause any serious damage or any injuries. Finally, on May 15th, the council heard a presentation from a group of graduate students from a UC Berkeley Transportation Planning Studio class who presented their ideas on how to align Emeryville's land use and transportation policies with the greenhouse gas reduction goals of SB 375. Earlier this week, on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the council heard budget presentations from each department, including yours truly, as well as lots of public testimony, and then they deliberated on priorities for proposed program additions. With the demise of redevelopment, the emphasis in the budget is now less on the city's transformation from an industrial hub and more on quality of life issues. The council will have further discussion on the budget at their June 5th meeting and is expected to adopt it on June 19th. Moving on, I'd like to inform you about the upcoming Planning Commission interviews. The City Council will be holding interviews for applicants for the Planning Commission before their regular meeting on Tuesday, June 5th, beginning at 5 p.m. There are 5 applicants for the 2 available seats, and they are Elizabeth Altieri, Brian Donahue, Sean Moss, Rachel Joy Rodas, and Carrie Tan. And as I'm sure you've all heard, Commissioner Flores is leaving us, is not seeking reappointment because he's moving to Oakland, and we will certainly miss Commissioner Flores. The council expects to make their appointments at the June 19th council meeting. A couple of other items on the zoning update. The steering committee will be meeting on Tuesday, June 11th, which is a little less than 3 weeks, to review several key outstanding issues that the committee previously identified. Unfortunately, I will be on vacation at that time, but the committee will be in the very capable hands of project manager Deborah Diamond and our new intern. We plan to bring the entire code back to the committee in the ensuing months and hold a community workshop later in the summer, and then study sessions and adoption hearings before the commission and council in the fall. Finally, the Center of Community Life held their 9th community workshop this past Saturday, May 19th at Annie Yates Elementary School, and the next one will be on the evening of Thursday, June 14th at a time and location to be announced. So that concludes my report. I'd be happy to respond to any questions you may have.
We got an email from an ex-city council member saying that the funds for the Center for Community Life were not going to be available. Is that true?
I'm not exactly sure how this process works, but my understanding is that our oversight board approved it, but the State Department of Finance took it off the list.
So that means it will not proceed?
I think the city attorney can maybe clarify this.
Charlie is right. It was denied by the Department of Finance. We're in the process of appealing that decision. And we're also working with Nancy Skinner's office. She's given us some assistance on that particular item. There were other items on the project list that were also denied, but that certainly was one. We believe the Department of Finance is wrong in this case, and we're going to pursue it. So, or it's not done yet.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Charlie?